All right. So, Kelly, thank you for joining us. For those of for people who don't know who you are, would you mind telling us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, so I'm a postpartum doula. A lot of people associate doula work with birth work, which is true. There's a lot of doula in the birth world, and some people go even farther and confuse doulas and midwives. So I'm like two extra steps from what people assume a doula does. A doula means to be with women, to support women, and to help them know their options and to support them emotionally and validate their emotions and know that you're doing okay and just to help them navigate through stuff and to just be an assistance. So a postpartum doula, instead of working with women who are in labor or approaching labor, they work with women after they've had their baby. So I'm really passionate about, people don't have that support network anymore that we used to have. After you have a baby and people are isolated and they're at home, and it sounds a lot like what we have going on for everyone everywhere right now with the quarantine and
Exactly.
coronavirus. So this just keeps running in my head, and I'm like, this is just like postpartum. It's for like everyone.
Everybody's experiencing it because they're like, oh, so this is what goes on. So let's just
Yeah.
dive into it because we have some things to talk about, especially with COVID, all the restrictions, and people are being sent home postpartum or, are at home postpartum. And
Mhm.
it can be very isolating, like you said, except on another level, because now you have a new baby to take care of and other things, questions and concerns. Um, so my question for you is, what do people have access to help them even virtually right now?
Virtually. Okay, so there's a lot of virtual stuff going on just because of the coronavirus. There's so much that has moved to virtual support services, which is very interesting to me. So the first thing is kind of telehealth options. What are your virtual supports for seeing your doctor, for seeing your child's doctor, for seeing a lactation consultant if you need that support? And then there are other women's health specialists like yourself. So I know there's just all across the realm, they're offering um, either special options to really make sure that you're the only patient in there if you have to go to a clinic or to be seen virtually.
That's pretty cool because I've seen, especially in my profession, a lot of us have gone to telehealth. We were maybe doing it before, but now it's being called to actually be the thing that we do. And
Mhm.
especially for your profession, it's a lot of hands-on things, and you're trying to care for the person in person. So how does that transition to virtual world? Like, are you guys still able to do that?
Yeah, that's definitely been a question for a lot of doulas is how do, a lot of the time I can help you swaddle your baby and show you and you can record me and you can go back and look at it and I can, make sure what's going on in your house and notice that your dishes haven't been done in 3 days and usually they're done every day so I can spot that red flag and now I can't. So how can I help you? There definitely are still doulas during postpartum virtual work right now. I've seen like 1 hour meetings available so you can meet face to face and chat like this. And there's definitely that physical connection that's lost, but it's still a form of support that is available.
And that's the great part is, like you say, it's a form of support. So at least it's better than you trying to perform it all on your own on an island. At least there's some sort of help.
Yeah, we really have to be proactive about reaching out and making these connections, whether we are, new postpartum moms, new postpartum families, and we are stuck at home just by that virtue, or whether we're someone in a quarantine during a pandemic.
Yep, no, that's very true. So, talk to me about some different options for women who might be a little bit overwhelmed right now. I know that there's different services that people can try to have a little
Mhm.
automated to where they don't have to go out and do these things, especially now that they're home with a newborn. Talk to me about that.
So we have food deliveries. That's anything. We have the grocery delivery, grocery pickup. You can
Mhm.
order online through apps or through websites like Walmart, Sam's, even our local grocery resellers. And then there's also Ship and Instacart, and they partner with different grocery stores, and you can use their apps, and they'll send a shopper to go into the store and bring it to your house. So that's
That's good.
either the grocery delivery to your house, or you can get in your car and go drive and do like the Walmart pickup where they bring it out to your car. So those are some options that I'm really excited about, that has come to fruition even since my youngest has been born, and she's only a year old. So that's really exciting that that's available. You also have food delivery from restaurants. You can either do curbside pickups, or some of them are offering to come and do contactless drop off. That's pretty cool. And I know there are Facebook groups that are available for local areas to advertise the restaurants and to tell you like what's going on. How can we connect to you and give you our food and still connect local businesses?
And that's huge right now, especially with local businesses. Supporting them is key.
Mm-hmm.
They don't lose their livelihood, and like you said, it gives a service to us to where we don't even have to worry about that. It's brought to us. We're just able to take care of our babies and move on.
Mm-hmm.
No, those are great ideas. I like that. So you mentioned something earlier about, red flags that you might see when you're in a postpartum mom's home. Talk to me a little bit more about that and how, in regards to if they are considering telehealth options, what do we need to know about that?
So I need to make a caveat that I'm not a health provider. I'm not a
Mhm.
mental health specialist, any of that, but I am trained to look for red flags so that I can point you in the direction of your provider. So if someone came to you and said, "Do you like how you're feeling? If I told you that we can do something to make you feel differently, would you take me up on that offer?" And that might be a cue to, I don't like how I'm feeling. There's something off, and I think I might want to see a provider. And usually that's something that a doula or, whatever in-person support that you have that we can't have right now, maybe it's a family member, like something's going on, and I know that this is just a little bit outside of the scope of normal, that they'd be able to catch for you. But right now, if you're more isolated than usual, maybe a partner might notice, and or just if you're sitting there like, I don't like this, something's wrong, reach out. So
Right. So now
some
that you
people
can't see
going in,
that, yeah. So now that you can't
yeah,
see that, at least a partner can and be like, okay, there's
yeah.
something not normal.
Yeah, so
So
you reach
maybe
out to
they
your
could reach out.
providers.
Yeah.
Yeah, reach out to your, if you have an OBGYN or midwife, that's a great starting point. If you have a mental health provider already going into this, reach out to them and see what options you have to get help.
Perfect. No.
So, yeah. So if, like I said earlier, if you usually have the dishes done every single day, even post baby, and then now it's been a week and you haven't showered and the dishes are piling up and you feel like it's just really, really hard to do anything, maybe that's a sign that reach out and make some connections. And we talk about postpartum depression, there's also postpartum anxiety and postpartum OCD. So there's more within that scope of something's wrong without just being like, I'm really, really sad all the time.
Mhm.
So,
No, you make good points. And on that whole subject there, physical care and mental health care is essential postpartum.
yeah.
Talk to me about some basic things that we need to keep in mind if we are newly postpartum or even a couple years out.
Yeah. So, in what regards
So
specifically?
yeah, so you were talking about how physical and mental health self-care is vital. So things like your hygiene, things like hydration, eating,
Yeah.
sleeping, resting, those are all essential parts of living your life postpartum. What are
Yeah.
additional things that they need to make sure that they're incorporating or can try to incorporate?
So, taking care of that self-care, the taking a shower or a bath if you're able to, and that's what you like, do that. Make sure you're washing your hair, you're brushing your teeth, all of those things that are normal everyday things that whenever we start to get into a funk can kind of feel really hard. And so if we're able to stay on top of it, or we notice that it's slipping and it's becoming hard, we're able to know that we need to reach out. So eating is really big. Lots of times with new babies, it's really hard. We either like don't really have anything that's easy, and we only have 3 minutes to ourselves through like the whole day, and we have a baby that keeps crying and they're hungry and we have to take care of them and we have to all this other stuff. How are we going to even feed ourselves? So eating is really big. Make sure you have some really easy to grab snacks. You can ask someone, if you have a partner at home, to make some pre-prepared snacks, like some boiled eggs, anything, cheese sticks, anything that's really easy. Cut up some apples, have apples ready, anything that you're going to be able to grab and not have to think about or put any effort into. That's a really big one. If you are big on freezer meals or crock pots or any of that, anything to cut out the work from having to get from I've been busy working with my kid or doing this or that, so now I have to shift gears and know how to feed myself or feed my family. So anything that cuts out the work. So do the grocery orders, they bring it to you, have someone prepare it, anything that makes it easier, do that. So hydrate, drink water. Water is so important. Eat your food. If you can get some sleep, I need some right now. If you can get some sleep, get some sleep. And we know that it's kind of cliche to say sleep when the baby sleeps. Well, okay, I'm going to do the laundry and the baby does the laundry too. But it's true, you do need sleep and rest, and it's very important to your mental health to get rest. So if you find that you're not sleeping, that might be a red flag to either at the very least have someone help so that you can relax enough to sleep if that's what you need, if you're really on top of it because you have to be on top of the childcare. But other than that, if that's not the issue, if you have an opportunity to sleep but you're unable to sleep, that's another red flag to reach out to a provider and see what kind of help you can get there. So and then brain breaks. It's so hard to have to be on top of it and to have your mind going and to have to know that you are responsible for this newborn and there's so much going on. Your brain really needs a break and to reset. And we spend so much time looking at screens and we're like, I'm just going to scroll through Facebook because that's all I can do right now is one hand scroll through Facebook. Well, your brain doesn't really get a reset with that. It really still keeps it busy and you don't really feel a mental break and you don't feel rejuvenated. So some other things you can do is journaling. For me, it's kind of hard to sit down and write whenever mine are really little. But if you're able to journal in any way or to sketch in a sketchbook, any kind, take off the screen, look at something physical, those kind of things, that's going to help reset your brain. Listening to podcasts, I really love listening to podcasts because my hands can be free. I can be doing something else, but my brain can still get that stimulation and get that rest and reset. And continuing with the screens, turn off the screens, turn off the TV, turn off all of the things that are fighting for your attention with your eyes that have that light and all of the stimulation, and you really just to let your brain relax and go at a slower pace and accept that. And then there's that social connection that helps reset your brain. I know, women talk about they just need to talk to an adult. They just need to not be caring for an infant or a toddler or a preschooler for 5 minutes and to talk to an adult about adult things. That's really big for your mental health, for that brain reset. And there are some different ways that we can do this. One of my favorite ways is the complete opposite of what I just said, to turn off the screen. But I will say, within your screen allotment time that you're giving yourself, social media really has given us a new way to connect with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it can definitely turn dark and be a bad thing, but it is a tool and it can be used for connection. And there are some really terrible mom groups out there that, they're notorious. There's bad advice, they're catty, and all of those stereotypes about mom groups. But there are some really powerful connections and support that can be given through mom groups on Facebook or any other forum.
Mm-hmm.
I really advocate for finding a community.
No, I agree. And I mean, you're so right, because you get in there and it's it's almost more toxic for you to be listening to it all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I like how you're saying kind of be picky, right? need to be picky with the things that we allow in. So same thing with mom groups or with any sort of social connection that we might have, be kind of picky during this time. Let yourself get that support without the noise that might come with it with in other platforms maybe. I know one thing that saved me with Ethan was video chatting with my dad whenever he went back to Missouri, and just letting him see. And so that's always an option, kind of like what we're doing here. You guys get to see each other. The mom gets to see somebody else, and somebody else gets to see the mom and the baby. And that can even break out, kind of brush off the dust, just kind of come out of that cycle of this, and get them interacting with somebody else.
Yeah, and I can say even within the last couple of weeks, I never really utilized video chat before this, but just having it as an option just the last few weeks, I noticed afterwards, I'm like, I got to talk to someone. There was an adult.
Humans are great. Yeah.
I can breathe. So yeah, there are connection possibilities.
Yeah. And so another thing that we could probably talk about here is if people did want to come over, say they weren't wanting to respect social distancing, give me some stuff about that, because we do know that that's happening and people would want to see, so it's nothing against them. Do you have any advice for us on that one?
That's really tough. There are a lot of people who are interpreting what's going on in different ways, and they have their own ways of handling it. And some people don't want to respect the boundaries. And even whenever we don't have a pandemic and we don't have, these social lockdowns going on, new parents might want to say, we want to restrict our hours to having people over just so that we can limit that stimulus and everything that's going on, and we can just be a new family. So boundaries are always huge, and this is a time that's really testing those boundaries. And if people are trying to come over and you're, even if it's a normal cold and flu season and you say, I really want to wait and present the baby afterwards, just being able to hold those boundaries. There are maybe the options of seeing each other through the window, talking through the window, get on the phone and see each other, wave. That's an option for some people.
Right. And I know I had a friend drop off groceries while I was sick, and so I did it through the window. Just was even just seeing somebody, and if they want to be helpful and they really, really want you postpartum, there are ways that they can do that with regards to the social distancing. So
yeah, people can come drop off food in a cooler on the porch, just like any other time of postpartum. They can do that. They can do my toddler just ran in. Just any of those things that we've always done pre-pandemic and pre-social distancing. We're able to drop things off, like the grocery delivery, drop them off at the door, connect over the phone, connect over the video chat, or say, I'd like to do something to help you. Can I bring you by some food? Can I pick up some diapers and drop them off at the door? So supporting women in what they really need, and not in what would serve you, but what would serve the new mom.
I love that. So any final notes or final send off for women who are postpartum dealing with this?
Definitely reach out, whether it's providers that you need to talk to, if there's a concern you have, or if it's just an adult relationship that you need to have with a friend so that you don't feel alone, so you don't feel isolated. And just know that your feelings are valid, and there is someone out there who will support you and will validate your feelings, and is really interested in you.
Right.
and not their personal agenda.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for telling us. I know that many new moms are searching for these answers, so I appreciate you coming on and having those answers. Alrighty, we will talk to you soon. Okay.
All right, bye.
Bye.